A building catches fire, smoke fills the air. People start shouting, running, panicking. Some freeze completely, others make things worse, yet somehow one person remains calm. Their breathing stays steady, their decisions stay clear, their voice never rises. And while everyone else is being controlled by the situation, they seem to be controlling themselves. This pattern exists everywhere, in business, in relationships, in emergencies, in everyday life. When pressure arrives, most people become emotional. A few become focused. Most people lose clarity. A few become sharper. And that's why calmness is one of the most misunderstood forms of power. Because calm people aren't fearless, they're not emotionless, and they aren't lucky. They simply understand something about human psychology that most people never learn. The greatest advantage in moments of pressure isn't strength, it's control. Most people believe pressure changes people. Psychology suggests something different. Pressure reveals people. When everything is comfortable, almost anyone can appear confident. Almost anyone can appear patient. Almost anyone can appear emotionally intelligent. But pressure removes the mask. That's why stressful situations are so revealing. Because under pressure, people stop showing who they want to be and start showing who they really are. Think about it. A calm day reveals very little. A difficult day reveals everything. The impatient become impatient. The fearful become fearful. The angry become angry. And the disciplined become disciplined. Pressure is the great truth teller. It exposes habits, beliefs, emotional patterns, and weaknesses that comfort keeps hidden. That's why truly calm people aren't created during pressure. They're revealed by it. Imagine two people face the exact same challenge. One panics, the other stays calm. What's the difference? The situation? No, the interpretation. Psychologists have known for decades that people do not react to reality itself. They react to the meaning they assign to reality. The event happens, then the mind creates a story, and that story creates emotion. Most people see pressure and immediately think, this is bad, this is dangerous, this could destroy everything. But calm people ask a different question. What is actually happening? Notice the difference. One response is emotional, the other is analytical. One creates panic, the other creates clarity. Calm people separate facts from assumptions. Facts create solutions. Assumptions create fear. And that's why they often appear stronger than everyone else. Not because they have fewer emotions, because they have greater clarity. One of the biggest psychological illusions is the belief that worrying helps. Most people don't realize it, but they unconsciously treat panic like productivity. If they're worried enough, they feel like they're doing something. If they're stressed enough, they feel prepared. If they're anxious enough, they feel responsible. But reality doesn't work that way. A storm doesn't care how worried you are. A problem doesn't disappear because you feared it. And pressure doesn't become easier because you panicked. In fact, panic often creates a second problem. The first problem is the situation itself. The second problem is your emotional reaction. And very often, the second problem becomes bigger than the first. That's why calm people refuse to multiply suffering. They solve what can be solved, accept what cannot be controlled, and move forward. Because they understand something powerful. Panic never improves judgment. Clarity does. Think about the calmest person you've ever met. Now ask yourself something. Were they calm because life was easy? Or were they calm because life forced them to become strong? Most people think calmness creates strength, but often it's the opposite. Strength creates calmness. After you've survived enough storms, you stop panicking every time it rains. One of the biggest differences between calm people and anxious people isn't emotion, it's focus. Under pressure, most people focus on everything that could go wrong, every risk, every possible failure, every worst-case scenario, and their mind becomes overwhelmed. But calm people narrow their attention. Instead of focusing on everything, they focus on the next step. Just one step, then another, then another. This sounds simple, but psychologically it's transformative, because the human mind struggles with imaginary futures, yet performs remarkably well when focused on the present moment. Calm people understand this. They don't carry tomorrow's problems today. They deal with what is directly in front of them. And because of that, they remain functional while everyone else becomes overwhelmed. Imagine standing in the ocean, trying to stop the waves, arguing with them, demanding they move differently. It sounds absurd, yet this is exactly how many people live, not with waves, with reality. They fight uncertainty, argue with the past, demand guarantees from the future, and resist circumstances they cannot change. Then they wonder why they're exhausted. Calm people learn a different lesson. Reality does not require your approval. It only requires your response. The moment you stop fighting what already exists, you gain the energy to deal with it. And that shift changes everything. Because acceptance is not weakness. Acceptance is the beginning of effective action. This may be the deepest reason calm people remain calm. Most people aren't afraid of pressure. They're afraid of what pressure might reveal. Failure, embarrassment, rejection, loss. And because they fear those outcomes, every challenge feels dangerous. Every setback feels personal. Every risk feels threatening. But psychologically strong people see failure differently. They don't enjoy it. They don't seek it. But they've stopped treating it as a verdict. Failure becomes information, not condemnation. Feedback, not a definition. A lesson, not a life sentence. Most people ask, what if I fail? Calm people ask, what if I learn? And that single shift changes everything. Because when failure loses its power to define you, pressure loses its power to terrify you. Most people allow circumstances to define them. A bad day becomes, my life is falling apart. A rejection becomes, I'm not good enough. A setback becomes, I'm a failure. But calm people separate identity from circumstance. They understand that a difficult moment is exactly that, a moment, not a destiny, not a future, not an identity. Storms pass, failures fade, circumstances change, but character remains. And when your identity is rooted in your values instead of your circumstances, temporary problems lose their power to shake you. That's why truly calm people often seem unbreakable, not because life is easier for them, because their sense of self is stronger than the chaos around them. Most people spend their lives trying to eliminate pressure. The strongest people learn something different. Pressure is never leaving. There will always be uncertainty, always be risk, always be moments when life demands more from you than you feel ready to give. The goal was never to escape pressure. The goal was to become the kind of person pressure cannot break. Because pressure reveals what comfort hides. It exposes your habits, your mindset, your character, and eventually, your identity. Most people spend their lives trying to become comfortable. Strong people spend their lives becoming capable. That's why calm people seem powerful. Not because life became easier for them, but because they became stronger than the situations they face. And when chaos arrives, they don't ask, how do I make this stop? They ask, who do I choose to be in this moment? Because in the end, the people who stay calm under pressure aren't controlling the world around them. They're controlling the only thing that truly matters, themselves. What's the most stressful situation you've ever stayed calm through? Share your experience in the comments below. WiseMind stories, master human behavior, strengthen your mind, and learn the psychology behind extraordinary people.